Roman Reigns announced he has leukemia tonight on Raw, and that was just absolutely heartbreaking to watch. Just feel absolutely horrible for this guy. It's just so awful. I mean, going through cancer. He's had this before. He had it 8 years ago. Just to hear he has to go through it again, and it's one of those things. When you find out somebody has cancer, it's like, it's so horrible. It's one of the saddest things I've ever had to see in wrestling history. It's like, when someone dies, it's horrible, and you just find out someone that young has leukemia, and he announces it the way he did, and he's talking about his family. It's just so horrible. Man, it's just the guy. He'd really announced this. It doesn't even feel real. Did Roman Reigns just say he has cancer? Roman Reigns has leukemia. What am I hearing? So all I can say is my heart's with the guy. Whatever we think of him as a performer, what we said to him as a performer, booed him or cheered him, that's just whatever. That's just an act. That's the show. Worried about Joe Anoa'i as a person, and hearing he has leukemia, it's just absolutely terrible. So, it was a horrible, thing to watch. And what I mean by that, it's just the reaction, and it's just depressing, man. It's just so fucking depressing to see that. You see Seth Rollins crying, you see Dean Ambrose crying, them joining him up on the ramp, and Roman gave a really good speech. It was powerful. He says he'll be back. He'll kick cancer's ass. I'm sure he will. It's just, hearing someone has to go through that. Oh my God. Just what a horror, what a nightmare to hear that. So, all you can really say is, my thoughts and prayers are with the guy. I'm pulling for him, and hopefully we get to see him again soon. So take care, Roman Reigns. Take care, Joe Anoa'i. Deepest thoughts go to him and his family right now. It's just, it's impossible to even talk. It's like, who cares about Raw? Who cares now? What am I even worried about? I'm sure the fans thought that way too. Why do we even care now? It's like, what is this? Just a show. We just found out a guy has cancer. Oh man, just absolutely terrible. What else can you say anymore? It's hard to really say anything else. Just seeing. It's also really sad seeing Rollins and Ambrose with them on the ramp, crying. The three of them, posing. It's just, man, that's really rough. So it's basically impossible to try transition, but we will. It's the show must go on. I thought the commentary tried to, they tried to transition it the best they could. It's like, what it is now. So after hearing that, you're really excited to watch Finn Balor and Bobby Lashley wrestle. Yeah, Balor won, whatever. They show Natalya backstage. She's talking about what's happening with her, Bayley, and Sasha, and that they announced. It's Bayley, Sasha, and Natalya against the Riot Squad at Evolution. Anyway, that's not Roman Reigns news. It's just horrible. Just fuck. Like, I was even watching Raw. I got a text. I'm thinking to myself, are you kidding me? That's a joke. The guy has cancer. Oh my God. You can't even process it. It feels so bad. It really sucks. I'll try to talk about Raw now. You had Ruby Riott against Sasha Banks. Sasha's return, and Ruby Riott pinned Sasha Banks. So Sasha gets pinned on her return. She's been offered. So he's lost to Ruby Riott so many times now. So I'm taking that probably the faces go over the Riot Squad at Evolution. That's how I'm going to think about what's probably going to happen. Okay, so Triple H and Shawn Michaels came out. This was the long promo. So they're talking about nostalgia, and they're talking about how the matches they're going to have with Undertaker and Kane, they're calling nostalgia. So they're basically saying it's old, and Triple H mentions Halloween, the movie I just reviewed. You can go watch that review, by the way. He mentions it came out 40 years ago, and it's the number one movie. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, one of the movies was made 40 years ago. This is a different movie. Like, this is a sequel. It's not actually the same movie they made 40 years ago, and they're just re-releasing it. They actually made a new movie, Triple H. Yeah, but I mean, he was making it like, it's nostalgia, and Halloween does well because of nostalgia. So I understand his point and all. I'm just saying to myself, you do know they made another movie, so like, this is not the same movie they made in 1978. But one thing I thought was kind of interesting, we can talk about Undertaker and Kane using that. I think Undertaker and Kane both took a lot from Michael Myers, their mannerisms and the way they walk to the ring, and the setup for sure is from Michael Myers. I think Kane, the way he walked, it's all from Michael Myers when you think about it. So I think they really borrowed a lot from the Halloween movies. Triple H is kind of poking fun at Kane with the mayor. Then after that, we go to a graveyard with Undertaker and Kane. This promo sucked. It's clearly the Brothers of Destruction, the heels in this thing. So they announce because Reigns has to relinquish the title. It's Strowman and Lesnar at Crown Jewel for the title. That's interesting to see how that works out, because I don't think Lesnar wanted to do anything. I think when a triple threat match, I think what was going to happen, it was just going to be Reigns and Strowman wrestling, and Lesnar would have been on the outside. But now it's going to be a singles match at Lesnar and Strowman. I don't know how they're going to work that. I don't think Brock wants to do any bumps. He doesn't want to get hurt. And wrestling a guy as big as Braun Strowman, you could get hurt. And because Brock is going to be fighting in the UFC soon. So they show stuff with Ronda and the Bellas. So Paul Heyman cuts a good promo. He mentions Roman Reigns. He talks a lot about Roman, putting him over, obviously. Okay, I was a bit concerned. Oh, no, they're not going to turn that into a storyline. And they would do it. They would. They'll do anything. It's like, oh, no, he's not going to do it. But, like, Heyman, he didn't, take a shot at Roman at all. He put him over. Like, I was worried, are they going to, do that, use it into a storyline? He didn't really do that at all. So it worked out okay. He was able to transition to Strowman, and Strowman came out and he says, Roman's going to get a title shot after he beats Lesnar. I don't know how they're going to work this. So after Strowman was finished talking, he had McIntyre come out and lay him out with a kick. So they're going to do Strowman and McIntyre after Strowman wins a title. I'm afraid they might do a DQ. I can see, I might predict this ends in a DQ. I can see a no contest, a DQ, because I think the tag match is probably going to be as the main event. So I can see this being a no finish, and then it sets up maybe a tournament or something at Survivor Series. I can see something like that, unfortunately. And I don't want to see that, but I think that could happen. So they show Elias in the ring. It's kind of boring, him and Alcoholics. I don't care. Kurt Angle is cutting a promo backstage about his match. Yeah, so it's just stuff of Baron Corbin and Elias. I don't care. They show Ronda Rousey comes out, so it's Ronda and Nikki, this is the big, final promo for Evolution. So she's talking about how, when Ronda comes out, she's talking about how she talks about her mother and how she promised her she's not going to let me get to her. Brie and Nikki come out and they go and they rip into Ronda and they rip into her. They said you said you'd win the Olympics and then you'd say you wouldn't get hurt in the octagon and get undefeated. Nobody can hurt me in front of my mom. Obviously, that didn't work out well because her last couple of fights did not. Yeah, she got hurt pretty damn bad. So they rip into her. They don't really bring that up. I'm sure Ronda Rousey hates that because she's whenever you mention that, I've seen her in interview, she just starts to cry. She's mention her two losses, someone died. It's just so weird how she handles it. But I guarantee you she does not like that. But it is what it is. They had Nikki slap her and then Ronda just signs a contract and doesn't let it get to her. So that's where they're going. Yeah, card's not very strong at all. So they show Rollins and Ambrose and they're talking about it. There's no words, and they did a really good promo. It's both of them are really sad. They show something with Ember Moon and Nia Jax. In the Fatal 4-Way with Dana Brooke and Tamina. Why is Tamina still there? Anyway, Ember Moon wins. They show Ziggler Master. That's their main event. It's a tag match. They showed Trish and Lita backstage, and Alicia Fox shows up. And they go back and forth with her, and then Mickey attacks them, and then Mickey James beats them both. Trish and Lita and Alicia joined. There's no Alexa Bliss there. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know why I didn't see Alexa Bliss. Did she hurt her nose or something? So they're doing a tag team title match, Ambrose and Rollins against Ziggler McIntyre. They end with Ambrose and Rollins winning. I think it's all right, Roman's going to come out and the three of them are going to celebrate together. That's a great way to end it. It was a cool way, really happy. It's a really sad show, but hey, the two best friends win the titles. And I just thought this was so inappropriate. I would have just done, you can do this. If this is really where they want to go with everything, I don't have a problem with it. I know, the Roman Reigns thing just happened. There's nothing you can't control it. It's like, if they really want to, they can still go here. Just not this week. It was a really sad moment at the beginning of the show. Just do it next week. You can just do it next week. It's fine. Don't do it this week. But they had Ambrose turn on Rollins. He just beat down Rollins. And they just won the tag sales. Like, why? They're really doing that? And then he just leaves for the crowd. It's like, oh, don't do that shit right now. Like, just wait next week. I don't know. I don't know why they pulled that. I don't know why they had to do that. But Ambrose, they were tagged. I don't even know. Anyway, yeah, Raw. It was what it was. Just, all you can say is the Roman Reigns thing. It's just hard to really process the whole show, but again, thoughts and prayers are with Roman Reigns and his family. Just a horrible situation, and really hope he gets through this, and hopefully we can see him back on TV soon. Back, he's 100% healthy. So, yeah, that's all you can really say. Wrestling is wrestling. We enjoy wrestling. We take it too seriously at times, but tonight's like this remind us of this is just a show. It's entertainment. These guys are real people. They have real lives. They have real families. What you see on TV, you don't like someone, you don't like their character, you can boo them or cheer them, whatever. It just keeps everything in perspective. So that'll be my final thoughts on tonight. And again, thoughts and prayers go to Roman Reigns and his family.